This is Paul. Yeah. I was looking at this breach of the peace in the you and the law. Yeah. And it's unlawful disturbance of the public tranquility as by violent or disorderly behavior. Yeah. Now, what really got me is I started looking through that glossary. Yes, yes, yes. Is they have a couple other words called the Bill of Rights. Yes, a formal summary or declaration of fundamental principles of the rights. Yes, of individuals. For example, the name given to the first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution. See Section 15. So I thought I should look at what are the Bill of Rights and why is it that my rights are being violated. In Section 1 here of the 14th Amendment, all persons born or naturalized in the United States subject to the jurisdiction are citizens of the United States of the state wherein they reside. No state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of the citizens of the United States. Yep, you can't do that. And nor shall any state deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And then, nor deny to any person within the equal protections of the law. Now, I had looked at that 14th Amendment before. The two phrases, due process of law and equal protection, are the ones courts have used to strike down state censorship. Yeah. Now, let's say you're elected to office and you're in Congress. Yeah. And you've been working with lobbyists for decades, and they like to take you out to dinner and, give you a nice time so they can talk to you. But one of those little junkets, you got yourself into sort of a pickle, let's call it that. And somebody said, well, why don't you just eat this DNA, and why don't you be in the super top secret fish family of those that don't have any soul? And it turns out that you found out that my right to due process has been violated, but instead of actually doing what you had sworn that you would do, that you would enforce the rights of the American population, you decided that you're just not going to do what the law requires. And then you changed your mind. You said, no, actually, we've really got to put the hammer down on this. Okay, this is turning out to be a very, very messy situation. And what happens is one of these lobbyists that has been entertaining you for years and years and years says, well, actually, remember that time you had that little soiree with those 10 or 15 naked teenagers? Yes. They start blackmailing you, the extortion of money or something else of value by means of intimidation, such as threats of criminal prosecution or injury to personal reputation. The money so extorted. Now, let's say I found out that lobbyists were blackmailing those elected to office because they were paying for soirees. Now, blackmail could be a very, very serious criminal offense. Now, in my mind, I can't see what the problem is. I have emailed those in office. I have explained that my civil rights are being violated. Petitioner didn't sign it. Court form said you have to sign it. You have to sign the protection order. The law requires the Domestic Violence Abuse Act, or whatever the name of it is, requires actual notice and opportunity to be heard. The Violence Against Women's Act, and that's part of a federal legislation that has national jurisdiction. But I'm getting the feeling that those in the top secret fish family that had to come to find out have been blackmailing each other because of all the money they've given them or all the sex or other illegal crimes that they've been involved in. Now I'm just going to need to know every lobbyist for the last, 40 years and all of those that they have gotten paid to lobby. And I need to know all the meetings and dinners and different times that you spent together. Now, I'm not afraid, okay, as a citizen, I'm not afraid to have arrested any person that is a sworn oath of office in the location that would give me the greatest amount of judicial benefit so as to acquire the largest amount of damages. We should always think of a jury of our peers. So, Congressman, you were actually arrested during a session of Congress. Yep. You were arrested for blackmail, bribery, prostitution, treason, insurrection, and we saw it on the nightly news for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. Now, for a lot of people, that would be newsworthy. But let's say it was every person in Congress, and day after day, while the session of Congress is going on, I serve with a warrant 2 or 3 of those elected office, so that by that time the session is over, there's actually no one left. I am that type of American that would have arrested those elected to office that have, breached the faith of their moral obligation and duty to enforce the civil rights of Americans. And I would plan on having them arrested where America would have the greatest amount of sympathy.